Today I'm going to record a start to finish for the beginner's guide. I wanted to get my thoughts down before I recorded it though, because what I think I know about the beginner's guide might change how I respond to the beginner's guide. I don't know if I'm right. I'm using old memories of a video I watched months ago, but I think these thoughts are valuable. The beginner's guide, according to my faulty memory, is a game about the act of creation itself. It's about how creating changes the creator and the creation itself. And while I don't know if that's accurate, it has made me think about my own creations and my own act of creating. And because that's valuable, and I'm in a particularly weird stage of life right now, I wanted to explore that.
I guess now's my chance
What
to
are
tell
you doing
Chloe
to
I'm
me?
leaving. We might not be alone again once her parents get back.
Hey, ready for something else? I've got a great plan for the afternoon.
Crap. I don't want to ruin the rest of the day.
Oh God.
You're staying for dinner, right?
Would Chloe even want me to tell her?
Yes.
She's already got enough
Yes,
drama
she
from Blackwell.
does. I know how
Max?
this goes.
It's just Seattle. I'm probably overstressing about the whole thing. Right?
Why do I do this to myself? I asked that question of myself near the end of playing Life is Strange Before the Storm, a very good game about being sad and anxious about very real things. It was the second Life is Strange game I played on the internet, and the third game I played on the internet that made me cry, after the original Life is Strange and Undertale. I cannot think how many games have made me feel, though, be it anger, sorrow, jubilation, relief, anxiety, or wistful. Do I do this to feel? I don't think that's it. I have played games that have moved me that I have not recorded, experiences that part of me wishes I could have shared with someone else, and experiences that I have kept close to my chest, selfishly hoarding those thoughts and feelings, as if the very act of sharing them would somehow diminish them. Those experiences do not mean any more or any less to me as a result of them being private. I have also read books that have stayed with me for years, books that have had such an effect on me that they have shaped who I am as a person. I have never been in a book club or put together some sort of start to finish for me reading a book. Hello everyone and welcome to Start to Finish for 1962 classic A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. We are on chapter 3 right now, so please turn to page 41 and follow along. In the forest, evening was already beginning to fall, and they walked in silence. Charles and Fortinbras gambled on ahead. Calvin walked with Meg, his fingers barely touching her arm in a protective gesture. This has been the most impossible, the most confusing afternoon of my life, she thought, yet I don't feel confused or upset anymore. I only feel happy. Why? Do I do this to connect? This is a percentage of it. I started making Let's Plays when, inspired by Angie Gallant's incredible work on a Hatoful Boyfriend Let's Play, I purchased a visual novel for the PlayStation Portable with the expectation of making jokes about it. Hakuoki, Demon of the Fleeting Blossom, certainly sparked its share of jokes, but it also emotionally affected me and sucked me into its tale of the clash of cultures in the middle of the Meiji Restoration. Playing it was a remarkable experience, but the chatter that rose up around it was no less remarkable. I had an audience, but calling them that never feels correct. There were people in that thread interacting with me, posting happy gifs and sad gifs, and living that story in a way that helped me live it too. It was one of the most wholesome experiences of my life, and I waded out into this water of earnest enjoyment and fully embraced it. When I played this visual novel so well that I went down the Forever Alone ending, when things spiraled out of my and Hakuchi's control and all of the people that we come to know, love, enjoy, or at least tolerate, when they all stumbled into their own endings, bittersweet or just bitter, I felt it. I felt it and I showed it. I did all that I could to make that clear in my writing of it, and I held back nothing that I felt. From there, I went into making videos. After cutting my teeth on a single route in the not-very-good Hakuoki action spin-off, I played through the entire US-released Suikoden series, Life is Strange, Undertale, Night in the Woods, and more. I started games with the intent of finishing them, and sometimes that even happened. The Suikoden series made me so happy in part because so many people who had loved these games got to watch me experience them for the very first time. I blundered about without guides or walkthroughs, trusting in my friends watching to tell me where to go, how to recruit the special squirrels, how to get the best ending, how not to get the ending that I was about to get, and so on. They watched me defeat incredibly difficult bosses on the first try, and watched me fumble away half a dungeon because I didn't equip armor. Even when I messed up, even when I wasted time or got lost, the support I received carried me forward. It honestly made me incredibly happy, and I feel so fortunate to have saved the Suikoden series for a time where I could play it with my friends. And then those friends went away. I'm not a Twitch streamer. I'm not a YouTube creator. I don't have a wide social network. I don't have a lot of local friends. I'm not an influencer. I played games in a place where a lot of people played games, and then that place failed a lot of those friends, and they went away. That was where we saw each other, and we didn't anymore. Every video series knocked that a little further down, as the people I used to see slowly drifted away to other places, until I did too. I have left communities before. I have had communities leave me. I've found new ones, or I haven't. Something about this one felt different. I felt alone. More alone than maybe I have ever been before. Social media became even more alienating, full of people shouting into the darkness, looking to be noticed, to be remembered, to be a part of something bigger. Conversations happening that didn't include me, or anyone, really. I stood at the edge and I tried to be a part of it, and I failed, and then I drew even more around myself, and I hunkered down, and I got quiet. I kept making videos, even as the views dropped to 10% of what they used to be. Even as I released videos out into the darkness, 5 or 6 going by without a comment, without any engagement. I'm fortunate in that this is something I do for fun, without it being something I need views or hits to get ad revenue to make a living. But the enjoyment dried up. Repeatedly, I thought about quitting. At my lowest, at my loneliest, I put it all away. At that lowest point, I associated start to finish with friendship, and that without start to finish, I wasn't going to be able to have friends. So without friends, there was no reason to have start to finish. The games that have spoken to me in the past, games like Life is Strange, like Hakuoki, Undertale, Suikoden, Persona, Final Fantasy, those games are built around the power of friendship, about leaning on each other and relying on each other, about overcoming those obstacles and those people who would tear you down. I didn't have that. I'd lost that. There is something harmful in how I approach creating, in that I often still feel like I need to make something in order to be a part of someone's life. I have to have something to share with someone to be able to talk to them, and so the way to do that is to make something. I made this for you, I say, pointing to a 50-episode playlist of me alternating between bad jokes and bearing my soul. I made this for you. It's me. What have you been reading? Are you well? I'll make you something else tomorrow. Do I do this to create? I'm writing this while listening to Church's new album, Love is Dead. My favorite song, Miracle, just came on. I mentioned this because the last time I remember what was playing was Deliverance. From track 3 to track 7, I was not part of this plane of existence. Something happens to me when I'm writing or planning or brainstorming. When everything lines up. When I am free of distractions, when I am in the right mindset, when I am not buried in my own damages or my own anxieties, it is as close as I get to a spiritual experience. Years ago, I went out for a walk one afternoon, planning to be gone about 20 minutes, and instead was gone for 90. When I came back, I had 2 years of an RPG campaign plot sorted. Another morning walk had me see a climactic scene in a book I want to write so clearly, so vividly, that I know I will never be able to fully capture it on a page, but I look forward to trying. My dental phobia makes it very difficult for me to make it through even a cleaning. One of the last ones I made it through had me on Ambien to relax me for it. I struggled to express this at the time, as one does on Ambien, but it's another clear memory. There is a particular planet in the codex of the first Mass Effect that talks about massive, continent-sized life forms below the surface layer of this gas giant that once approached the surface of the clouds in response to a probe, then sank back down into the depths. I was one of those for this cleaning, and I knew that the surface had terrible sounds, incredible discomfort, and so much anxiety. But if I dove back down below the surface, if I sank back into the sounds of Austin Wintory's Journey soundtrack, if I explored these depths, I would be okay. I can still remember that sensation of descent, and late at night, if I struggle to fall asleep, I try to recreate that feeling of diving weightlessness. Writing does this. But more than writing, creating does this. Let's plays, video editing, writing, working on an RPG wiki, creating a calendar to track gaming sessions. Those are all creating for me. When I create, I'm at my best. Again, it's spiritual. I feel in tune with something, that there is a beat that keeps time in the universe, and only when I let go of the corporeal and release myself into this creative energy at my core can I truly experience what living is. I know what I sound like when I say that, but it's how I feel when it's working. It's that ambient weightlessness. It's that moment when your pulse aligns with the music. It's the release in Clearest Blue. It's the spider dance in Undertale when it was exactly that, a dance. Both of us moving in time with every beat a mutual escalation. The game and I linking arms to follow each other into a heightened state of existence. It's the improvisational side of jazz, and I was never confident enough to do that but once at a concert in the park in my senior year of high school, and I had nothing planned, nothing set, nothing in my mind, but my time came and it felt like a surrender, a yield to the forces within me, and I let them lead, and I just followed. And at the end, my friend gave me a grin and a nod, and that meant that it worked, and he understood what that meant to me. At my worst, at my lowest, I have wanted to put all of this away. Videos, stories, games, writing, creating. I've wanted to put it away and live how other people do. People I know who don't post on the internet, who don't run capture equipment from 2 microphones into a TV, people who've never considered writing a book or a story or anything remotely similar to it. And I want to live this way not because I don't think it's not worth it. I think that I'm not worth it. It's depression and it's devastating. But I don't want to live that way because I don't want to put me away. When I'm not creating, I'm not happy. When I am, I am. I guess the question of why doesn't have an easy answer. But that's fine. I've never been that good at endings anyway. Might as well just keep going. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone, for watching what is honestly an extremely self-indulgent exploration of what it means to me to occasionally ramble into a microphone and post it on the internet. If you'd like to talk about this video or anything else that we do here at Start to Finish, there is a link to our website, my Twitter, and our Discord in the description of this video. Thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.
Mm.